Hello and welcome to You Beauty. This is the podcast for your face. I'm Kelly McCarren and welcome back.
Hello, and I'm Amy Clark, back from summer break.
2026, baby.
2026. Skin looking as tired as you feel by Friday? Meet the cult fave from Dr. Lewinn's, the Collagen Surge Plumping Pearls. It's a velvety gel with collagen pearls that burst to hydrate your skin. When surveyed in a consumer study, 84% of women felt their skin was more plumped in just 1 hour. Formulated where skin faces its toughest test, Dr. Lewinn's. Tested by Australia.
All right, so Amy, first question of 2026. I'm going to say that probably several times in this episode because I'm a little bit what? Because it still feels like it is New Year for 2025, but it's not. Hi, ladies. I love the pod. Can we have some summer foundation recommendations? Pretty please. I'm 47 and I currently use Estee Lauder Double Wear, but I feel like it's settling into my pores. I want something a little lighter, a little more dewy, but still that little bit of coverage for my pigmentation. Also really want long wearing. I'm open to any and all suggestions. Thank you, Shelley.
Great question. We've both got product recommendations for Shelley, but maybe we want to start with some tips because I do feel like
you could probably shear out your
Agreed.
Double Wear.
That was going to be my first thing. Was potentially
if there's still a fair bit in the bottle, you don't.
Yeah, the way you apply it or the way that you prep with it. So maybe you want to add, and also if Shelley's saying that she uses Estee Lauder Double Wear, I'm assuming she's at least like combo or oily. Have you used Double Wear before?
Yes.
It is like
a lot.
It's very drying. Like it looks real crusty on my dry skin.
Same, and it's also quite not thick. Yeah, thick actually.
Yeah, because it's long wearing.
Because it's long wearing and it's full coverage.
Totally.
It's an incredible product.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's
she
not
wouldn't be using it as her foundation if it wasn't for that kind of skin type, I
Agree.
feel. And she mentions pores as well. So the first thing that Shelley could do is, I guess, if you want that dew that doesn't go into oil, slick, you could lay down a really like a dewy illuminating primer first, and then that kind of gives you the life and the dew.
Even if you just applied it to the areas that you want that little bit more luminosity, like to the outer perimeters of your face, and like maybe don't use it on your, I'm just thinking if she's worried about pores, maybe don't apply it to like the apples of your cheeks. You know where that's tends to be where people get the most obvious pores.
Very true.
I get them in between my eyebrows too.
Mine's the chin.
Oh.
I feel like if something's going to settle, it's going to be in my chin.
Oh, okay.
I've also got my little hairy chin follicles there, so I think
Chinny chin.
Yes.
Me too. I love plucking them though.
Oh, I haven't got to that stage yet.
Oh. I'm just old.
So there's that, and then yes, Shelley, you could shear out your Double Wear. So either you could mix something in it, like a little bit of a face oil, or you could mix in a primer or some kind of product,
even
like
a little bit of moisturizer.
Yeah, exactly. And then it could be the way you apply it too. Like maybe you're actually just applying less or applying it more strategically. So maybe you're going to apply it where you want coverage, but not all over the whole face. But
think about how you're applying it as well. If you're using your fingers or a more traditional makeup paintbrush, maybe try a buffing brush or a damp beauty sponge because that tends to shear it out a little bit more too.
What's your, like, when you're doing your foundation, do you switch between like fingers, brush,
I
sponge?
switch between absolutely everything. But if I want something really sheer, I will just do like one pump mixed in with an oil and then apply it with my fingers and then buff it out with a quite damp beauty sponge.
Yeah, nice. Everyone's got their way.
Yeah.
You know? Like I always, if I'm doing foundation, will use a dense flat stippling brush.
Oh, okay.
The Zoeva brushes. Sidetracked. So back to Shelley's question. The other thing that we both kind of, because we look in our notes here and I can see what Kelly's going to say. We both talked about potentially you want to use more of like a tinted moisturizer or a skin tint and then add the extra coverage with concealer. I think that's like such a good idea. And I often do that too, having freckles, because I struggle with, I want my freckles to show through, but I do need coverage, and it is in that it's usually the center of the face where I want my coverage. But product recommendations?
please, you can kick things off.
So
The most obvious one is
dum dum dum. So double wear, Shelley might not know that double wear comes in a sheer version. So that you can
like
get
a little sister, if you
Yeah,
will.
exactly. And I've tried this one too, and I had high hopes that it would work for me. But again, I just don't think that it's a foundation if you have dry skin.
Oh,
It's-
see, I loved
really?
the sheer.
No,
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
I'm just so.
I think you're slightly more dry than me.
I'm so dry.
Mm.
I'm like the desert.
Tumbleweeds on
yeah,
your face.
Yeah, it's just like sucks it up straight away. But that one is a lot more of a lighter weight texture, much easier to wear than double wear. So that would
It's
be
more
my,
like drops even.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my first suggestion if you are like a double wear stan.
Because then you know that you can just order the same shade that you usually get.
Yeah, some savvy options. So again, this is so funny. I'm like talking about all these products that I don't like on my skin, but I think they'll work for Shelley. Is that Mecca Max, the Life Proof Satin foundation. So that one
Is that
came
the
out.
newer one?
Yeah, it came out kind of like to the back end of 2025.
Lee loved that.
Yes. So I don't like it for me. Again,
Same. It's too drying
Yeah,
for both of us,
I
but
loved-
Lee loved it.
yeah, I would wear that if I was doing like a headshot or something and I was going to have my photo taken and I put it on and then I'm having my photo taken. Loved how my skin looked in like the first hour. And then it kind of went downhill after that. But that one's kind of more of a savvy option. And then the other ones that I wanted to recommend was the Maybelline Superstay Lumi Matte. So there's just so many different types and finishes of foundations now. Like you can get long wearing that have luminosity to them. So it doesn't have to be, because I think dewy, like you say you want dewy, but if you like double wear and you're oily and pory, like dewy can very quickly become
Oil
sloppy,
slicky.
slidey.
It's funny as well because I think that when someone says long wearing, I think that most base products are long wearing if you apply it properly.
Yeah,
Like
true.
if you apply it over an oil and then use your hands all and don't set it and then use your hands all over your face all day and you sweat a lot, like it's not going to be long wearing. But if you apply it properly, which I'm sure you are doing if you're wearing
going to get
it.
at least a couple of hours. And look, let's be real. Like, if you're out and about, like you got to be realistic too about, especially in summer, like how
Exactly.
long your makeup's going to last.
Yeah.
But do you have any products that you would like to recommend for dearest Shelley?
Yes. So I am suggesting to look for more serum-y foundations, like you mentioned. So the ordinary serum foundation is $12.70. The unfortunate thing is you do only have the option to buy it online, so it is harder to find your right shade.
At least though, at that price point, you could buy two. Like,
Yes.
if you've got disposable income, you can buy two and kind of mix and
them
match.
together.
Yeah.
Save, pass one along to a friend or sister. Then the L'Oreal Tinted Serum Foundation, full price, that one's $37. That one has that lighter texture but full coverage.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Beautiful.
The skin tints are not – you can get full coverage and more that natural matte.
That one might be better actually because the ordinary, it's still maybe not perfect for oilier gals and guys. And finally, the Revlon Serum Foundation. I'm obsessed with this product. It is so beautiful. That one is currently, at time of recording, $19.99 at Chemist Warehouse, but like full price.
You're so good. You've done – I've not provided any of the prices. I'm so sorry, Shelley. But –
Heaven forbid. I really don't think you need to apologize about that. So that's what I would say, that you use something that little bit lighter. Maybe use, as Amy said, a glowy primer on areas where you want more luminosity, and then something a little bit more mattifying on the areas where you're getting obvious pores.
My favorite pore primer, just side note, and it was one of the best sellers at Adore Beauty when I worked there, was the Makeup Forever. They have their primers and they come, you know how that you can get primers and they're very specific to different skin types and stuff. They have a pore minimizer and a shine control. They layer really beautifully under foundations.
That's
Highly
a great little
recommend.
insider tip. And then do pop on a little bit of concealer anywhere you need more coverage, and set with just a tiny little bit of powder in the areas where you do find that your pores become more visible or you do get shiny and oily during the day, and leave the rest of the skin.
Yes, like micro set.
Yeah.
I've been using I almost never powder, but I do when we're filming and
Mm.
things like that. And when it's coming up to Sydney from being a Melbourne gal, that humidity gets my
it hits
upper
ya.
lip nice and moist. So I'm doing a powder, like one of those old school like flat
Puffs?
powder.
The powder puffs?
Yeah,
They're
like,
perfect. They're so good.
I fold it in half.
Mm.
Get it like literally get such a crisp corner to
Yep.
really just get in there. So then, yeah, exactly. No powder.
You can get ones with a
anywhere else.
pointed tip as well, the powder
Yeah.
puffs, because you can get a packet on like
It's all
Amazon.
about the tools. You got to have tools of the trade. You're good
Exactly.
to go. Well, we hope that that works for you. Let us know how
Let
it
us
goes,
know,
by
yeah.
the way. Next question is from Bree, who sent us a DM. Hi, Bree. Hi, lovelies. I'm struggling to keep my lipstick looking fresh all day without using those drying lip stains. Should I be doing balm first and then lipstick or gloss, or am I just overcomplicating it? What's your foolproof method for long-lasting lips that don't feel like cardboard?
Cardboard.
I don't think, well, just that kind of like, with, you know, like cardboard, you like bend it and it's
Yeah.
like, I just think in general, it's almost near, there's very few products I've found that can tick all of these products.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you really want something to last, it's going to not be the comfiest thing
Moistest.
to wear. Yeah, exactly. It's on them that like, you know, like you need to lick your teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
But for everyday wear, so it's kind of, you've kind of got to pick, okay, what's the occasion, how, and what's the most important thing to me? Is the most important thing that my lips, that they feel like
Nice.
hydrated, nice, comfortable, is the most important thing that there's like, it looks like there's color on my lips at all time, or is the most important thing that it can last and I'm not going to be able to touch it up. But I don't think you can really have all three of those all
I
the
agree.
time.
Yeah. it's not even something I ever sort of really worry about.
I do.
No, I know you do. And
Because
that's why
because I've got my like invisible lips.
Yeah, so do I. I just don't really think about it. The problem is that I eat, drink, talk a lot and
Pash?
no, I definitely don't do that to Amy Clark. But like, I don't know. Lipstick wears very quickly on
Yeah.
me. So I'm probably like, I thought you're a much better
Yes.
person to answer this question.
It can feel like I've got to do all these steps, or do I have to use a lip liner and then I'm layering and I'm doing all these things? Any makeup artist will tell you, like, you're going to need to touch up. And I feel like that's the same
They
across.
touch up.
Yeah, and
Makeup
that's the
artists
same
touch up.
across almost any makeup. We're just talking about foundations. If it was someone's, you know, wedding, they're going to be touched up.
Have their under eye touched up.
They're always saying have your lip combo in your bridal bag, because you're just gonna, if you want it to look great and feel great, you will need to touch up, and you want to eat and do all of those things.
Pash.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to mac on, but there are some lip glosses and lipsticks that I love that leave a nice stain behind. That's enough color that I don't need to worry that I'm going to look in the mirror and it's like I don't have any lips.
Yeah, Luke asks me he goes, have you eaten enough today? And I'm like, why? And he goes, because your lips are white. You look like you're about to faint.
You're like got a scurvy. You're like a sick Victorian child.
Literally. I'm like, that's just my face. I have low iron.
I'm a girl.
Yeah. I don't have much iron.
Yeah. So I find that usually that's my strategy, rather than a long wearing lip, unless it's like a red lip, and we both love the Home Beauty lip lock.
Oh, I still do not understand how she did that. How did she make something so glossy that lasts so long and feels so beautiful?
I'm pretty sure it's a Korean it's a South Korean form. There's something in there. I was like, they've got the technology over there.
Yeah.
But that product, if you're looking for, it only comes in reds. So if you were doing
an
a
orange
statement,
red and then a more true blue-based red.
Exactly. If you were doing you wanted to a long wear red, I would suggest that one, because it's the best one that kind of like sits in the middle of looks good, doesn't smudge, but is comfortable enough, and you can kind of still. It's malleable. That's
Definitely not for someone that wants that more matte red though.
No.
Because it's so glossy.
The Maybelline, I haven't tried in our doc, you've got the vinyl one. I've used the traditional Maybelline. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. It's like a slim stick liquid lip. Like that will not move, but it's fucking uncomfortable to wear. Like,
Yeah,
you're going to,
okay.
it's going to look great, but you're going to feel like my lips are cracking the whole day.
Yeah, which is not nice.
No, but in terms of like every day, another option if you want something that is more of that, not matte, but not glossy gloss, is a suede or a velvety suede formula, because they glide on and they still feel very comfy on the lips, but they are a bit more long wearing than just a regular gloss lipstick.
Tinted balm or something like that.
And so ones that I love, actually MAC have two formulas that I love. There's the powder, it's the Powder Kiss range. Powder Kiss Liquid Lip, that one, and also both of these kind of smell like chocolate, or that kind of, sometimes when a lip product smells like dessert, it's like a chocolatey, anyways, it's just really yummy. Or the Velvet Blur Slim Stick, so that you've got a liquid or you've got a stick. Both of those will look great throughout the day. You won't need to touch up much. But my kind of lip strategy of choice is more of that, a balm, like a really balmy lipstick that leaves some kind of color behind, because it's also, I don't mind reapplying. Like, I don't mind, I'll reapply a few times a day, but they're not high maintenance.
Yeah,
it's like
you don't need to go to a mirror.
Need a mirror. Yeah, it's like the kind of thing you can reapply very easily. So my favorites, I recommended the NYX oil lip drip, specifically the shade Newsfeed. And actually Stacey Hicks, who's our acting editor, she's on Parenting Out Loud, another podcast. She wears that pretty much every time she films for that and gets lots of compliments. That leaves a stain behind, which is great.
Do you ever find that people will comment on YouTube videos or like our recordings and they're like, what's on your lips? Or they'll forward it to me being like, hey, what's on your lips? And I'm like, it was 6 weeks ago. I don't know.
I feel like that's the kind of question I would be able to answer off the top. I'm like,
really?
Oh, yeah, that color, that finish. I'm a lip girl.
Yeah, you really are. Whereas I'm like, which is really bad because I know how unhelpful it is, but I'm like, it's whatever I grabbed out of my bag before we recorded.
There's so much thought.
Unless I'm doing a red. Yeah. But then, yeah.
The Glossier Ultra Lip High Shine lipsticks, I love, love, love those. Very creamy, pigmented, more of like a balmy lipstick. This is a real throwback from like U-Beauty 2019, maybe, the Elizabeth Arden 8-hour tinted lip balms.
Oh.
There's one in a Merlot shade and then there's also a pink shade. I used to thrash those back in the day. Again, like wears off, but there's still colour behind. And then the final one that's a bit more spendy, but I really love it, is the Dior Addict Lip Glow Balms.
Oh.
Those in all of the shades, like the easiest lip product to wear and, doesn't disappear on you. I personally am not much of a lip liner person.
Oh, I love lip liner.
So you could do a lip liner, but I think it's more about just kind of picking something that will leave some pigment behind and having something that's easy enough to reapply, I think, for every day would be my recommendation.
I think if someone uses a lip liner though and uses it all over their lips, then if they pop something on top, that's going to stay a little bit longer.
Tip, especially for if you're someone who your lip line is like receding a little bit or you're losing pigment around the lips.
Or if you've had filler and you have a bit of migration, so you need to define it a little bit more.
Yeah. So if there's no like hard and fast rule. You don't have to use a lip liner, but I hope those lip tips are helpful.
I think that what you've said is so true and good, because it's like you don't have to just put something on in the morning and then that's
it's actually
like
physically impossible for what you put on in the morning to look as good as it did at 9 a.m. at 6 p.m.
Just, you've got to think about it realistically. You're using your mouth. Like mascara might, because you're not touching your eyes potentially, or you're not crying and that sort of thing, but lips never going to. What I like to do, I use a balm before bed, like a really good balm. If I'm going to do a really nice lip that I want to last all day, I'll do, and when I say all day, minimal touch-ups, a nice balm before bed. Then when I've done my makeup, I line the lips. Then I'll do my lipstick or my whatever. Then if I'm going to do a gloss, I'll do it only in the middle of my lip, because it just lasts a lot longer and that sort of makes them appear a little bit more plump as well.
Yeah, I mean, I am mesmerized by your lips as you're talking.
Well, today I just have a gloss on, so I haven't done this today.
Okay. Do as I say, not as I do.
Apart from the lip lock that we both spoke about, that's $42. It only comes in the 2 shades. The Sephora Collection Soft Matte Easy Lip Stain. It's called a stain, but it's not. It's more like a long wear lip color. That one actually does last a very long time. It's not drying, but it's not balmy. That
Okay.
one comes in so many different colors. It's beautiful. It's $26. And then the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick is $46. I get complimented on that every single time I wear it. That comes in a bunch of bright shades. That does tend to last a little bit longer than others I've tried as well.
But comfy enough?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I do not like that feeling of dry.
Oh, there's nothing worse. Next up, we have our beauty bites of the week.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
Mine, all I've put in the doc is one pump, which I was like, she might read this late at night and think, lol, Kel, what are you thinking about? One pump. But no, I thought of this last night because you know how the last time we recorded together, I told you that I was back on my tanning bandwagon because.
By the way, since you recommended that tan, I have seen lots of people recommending that tan.
Oh, really?
It was the baddest. It was like
baddest
bod. I've seen it, yeah. So
yeah, I've seen a lot of people doing undisclosed ads for it though, so just be careful.
No, I'm talking like in a newsletter, like in a beauty newsletter that I follow.
Yeah, it's really it is really good. But I spoke about it because I have been back on my tanning bandwagon now that I've got my legs out all the time, but I've got lots of bruises. And anyway, yesterday was one of those days where I just was back to back to back to back to back. And I was hoping to be able to chuck on a quick tan at some point so that I could even out my legs and my arms, but I just didn't have time. So then I was getting ready last night and I just remembered, it's a timely reminder, I definitely would have said this before, if you want to just even out your skin tone and sort of cover a bit of the bruising and just make yourself look less blotchy and bruisey and, I don't know, corpsey, one pump of foundation in your moisturizer. That's it. It just completely look at.
For the body. Oh.
So it evens out your complexion without making you look like you've got makeup on. Look at that. Look, I'm glowy.
I would, yeah. But I feel like, and also your body perfectly matches your face.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would never
just
have
one
thought
pump.
to do that.
That's it.
One pump.
Words
to live by.
And when we were mentioning, obviously you want to use, because it's sort of like one pump per limb. So,
so we're not using our Estee Lauder double
wear. We're not using our double wear. We're using something that maybe we don't love or that maybe is the wrong shade or just something that we got on sale and it's quite affordable because it doesn't matter.
We use the ordinary serum foundation.
That's why I was laughing about it because that's what I used because I've got one that's slightly too dark for my face but it's like perfect for my body. So that's what I've got, one pump for each limb mixed in with my moisturizer and I just feel more even.
Great. You don't have to worry about transfer. I guess if you're wearing a white dress, maybe.
It might, but still it'd be so minimal because it's really not that much makeup over the real estate of your body.
Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, it would never even occur to me to be like, oh, I better pop on a quick tan. I'm just, it's just not.
Yeah, but you've got really nice skin.
I also don't I don't get my legs out.
You don't get bits out, and you've got very beautiful
freckles. You've
got porcelain. I'm not talking about freckles. Freckles are beautiful. I'm talking about pigmentation on my chest and bruises all over my legs.
If I lift my skirt up, that's what you'd see. But yeah, great tip. My tip is about color depositing masks, but for people who don't color their hair.
Ooh!
So I don't color my hair, right? Aside from in year 9 when I did a burgundy, a 6-wash burgundy, cool fade. It was the Live.
Yes.
Do you remember those in the supermarket? It's
We've
Live.
all done that.
Yeah.
You have to use 3 packets to coat your hair.
So other than that, I've never dyed my hair, but that doesn't mean that your natural color doesn't sometimes look dull
and need a boost
or faded. I find in wintertime it looks lackluster because everything does. And then in summertime, I've been out in the sun, I've been swimming, whatever, it's looking a bit dull. So I just remembered about swapping in a color depositing mask
instead
of my hair mask or my conditioner. Maybe,
a red one?
Yeah, like a copper.
Mm.
And I will say, if you do color your hair or you have light blonde hair or naturally blonde hair, you probably want to just be mindful about which shade you choose because, you go a little. The best tip is to pick one that matches the lightest part of your hair. So then if you've got natural highlights or if you've got highlights, you're not accidentally going to dull or deepen those. But for red hair, I've got spendy and savvy options. But in summertime, I love more of a copper because it's like life, vitality. And then in wintertime, I might do more of like an auburn or a deeper cool toned red. My favorites are the Christopher Barn shade variation care in chic copper, which is how I like to be described. That's $67. That comes in a tub. So it really is just a hydrating, like a super nourishing hydrating hair mask with the pigment in it. Then Goldwell is kind of more the savvy option. To be honest, I haven't found a good one, at least for rangers, for us rangers, underrepresented.
Gingers have souls.
Side note, I much prefer ranger over ginger. Like, I hate, if someone called me a ginger, I'd be like, fuck you. But
okay, rangers is way worse.
No, ranger is like, have reclaimed that
ginger
for myself.
Is a herb.
No, ginger is
a
like
spice.
Ginger is that, I think of like a sickly ginger that's like.
You think of the dude in American
shade.
Pie with the pubes.
I'm thinking South Park is really the main thing that I think of. But ranger, I've like fully reclaimed that.
I love that.
Anyways, I haven't found one at the supermarket. But the best one that
with
I
the
found,
ginger,
for the ginge, is the Goldwell Color Revive conditioner. That's $35. That one comes in a few different shades. But a newbie that I love, is the Josh Wood.
Oh, just thinking about that man.
I know that man.
My friend Joshua.
So Kelly interviewed Josh Wood.
He told me I was pretty.
Oh, you are.
I just looked over at Sophie like, remember?
I'm pretty. Yes, you interviewed him for the formula so Josh Wood
we'll pop that in the show notes because it's a really great episode.
Josh Wood is the UK amazing colorist hairstylist that has opened up in the Mecca, Melbourne, Burke Street. He has a color mask. It's $45, but they're more glosses. So you're going to get that real like salon, because that's the thing, I don't color my hair, so when you get a fresh color, nothing is as shiny and the vitality, it's how the light's hitting it. So yeah, and I would say with that one, you do, in the how-to instructions, they are wearing gloves. So some are like richer than others, like some have more pigment and dye in them than others. And like the Evo ones, for example, they're quite strong. But the Christopher Barn one, like I'm just, whack my hand in it and use it like a normal hair mask. But yeah, give that a go if you just want to give your colour a boost.
Love. Well, that's it. First official episode of the year
done.
done.
Good stuff.
Amy will be stepping back into your ears and eyes. Jumping back into ears and eyes on Friday for Spendy Savvy. We've got some goodies for you. And in the meantime, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram. Go and watch us on YouTube. We'll link everything below.
Or if you have a question, if you have a question that you want us to answer, if you have an agony aunt, if you've got something embarrassing or a bit unhinged, you can send those through for the fix when we might pop up with that. But all your other beauty questions, please send them to us. See you next time.
Bye.